Thank you very much, John, Luke, and Nick. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you your host for the Key Trends in Key Markets session, Duncan Fraser-Smith, Managing Director of the Cutting Edge Agency and CEO of Global Hospitality Limited. Now, we're all going to get to experience Duncan's work tonight, as he worked very closely with Michelin star chef Greg Malouf in creating Clay, where our networking reception will be held this evening. So, please welcome Duncan.
Good morning, everyone. You can all hear me? Yes, good. This is one of the most exciting sessions, I think, for day one of GRIF, where we get to kind of explore what industry experts in both the US, Europe, the Middle East are looking at for future trends. And if we're thinking about investing in restaurant operations now, what should we be thinking about? Where should we be positioning our operations 3 to 5 years from now, which if we haven't started yet, that's probably when they're going to be competing in the marketplace. So our first presentation, having worked with such brands as Starbucks, Subway, and Applebee's across North America, he is also president and co-founder of Pacific Catch Fresh Fish Grill, and prior to his current role, he was the co-founder of the award-winning World Wraps Incorporated. Please welcome President and founder of the Culinary Edge, Aaron Novician.
All right, good morning. I thought I was going to infuse some energy into this room today. You ready for that? A little bit of key trends. Talking about America trends in 20 minutes is challenging, but I'm going to try and do a rapid-fire view of the American marketplace and kind of what's going on through a specific filter that we're looking at today. So, ta-da. Voila. Okay, who am I? I'm Aaron Novician. I am the founder of the Culinary Edge, as you mentioned. What do? We make food better. Very simple, through a lot of different means. We help brands all over the world reinstill quality, consistency, excellence in their food and beverage program, their guest experiences, how people interact with their brands. Who do we work with? Lots of people. Lots of big American brands. Well over 100 of the top 500 brands are our clients today. And we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of startup work, too. We've created over 25 brands in America and Canada and Mexico. Those brands are all scalable brands. That's what we specialize in. It's not about making one thing. It's about making things grow. In addition to creating brands and helping global brands, we operate, okay? So I have a deep empathy with the operators here. And I think it's a unique position that we're in that we've got to deal with bottom line of how restaurants operate, and when our teams are working on developing concepts, it's got to meet an economic model. It's got to deliver on brand promise. So we have Pacific Catch restaurants, also Banh Mi, a Vietnamese sandwich eatery. We do gourmet banh mi sandwiches in San Francisco. I'm founder of the Chairman Truck, Chairman Bao, one of the top 100 things you have to eat in your lifetime. If you want to talk about trucks, I'm happy to. We can get you some trucks. And Starbird, our newest venture, which is going to revolutionize fast food in the chicken space. So that's some of the stuff that we play around with. So before we get into trends, all right, and what's hot in the US, I want to first align on something. So what's a trend, right? Every January 2015, the top 10 flavors of chipotle peppers meeting honey, black pepper. Like, really? What's the point of this, right? We look at trends much differently. We look at trends really as a general direction in which something is developing or changing in the marketplace, okay? So it's not necessarily about the flavor. Those are reactions. Those are things that are happening. But really, how do trends arise, okay? They manifest really as part of societal movements, okay? What's happening economically, what's happening socially in the marketplace is really what is happening in the food and beverage industry as a reaction to these things, okay? These revolve around people's status in the world, right? Maybe in this part of the world, a Rolex watch is still meaningful. The new status in America is really about being recognized by your peers, okay? How many likes you have or power status on Yelp is a much greater thing today for the millennial participant. Health, never gone away. We'll talk a little bit about that today. What does value mean for the consumer? You may be eating at a 3-star Michelin restaurant and paying $500 for that meal, and that might be a greater value than the 99-cent burger at McDonald's. Because if you amortize that experience of your lifetime and how much greatness and joy it gives you, there's actually tremendous value there. So value isn't necessarily just the 99-cent burger. And then, of course, time. Convenience is critical today, okay? Also, this is going to tell us about how businesses evolve and grow and function, okay? This is how trends help us in evolving our businesses. So we're going to look at one key movement that's occurring in the food industry today in the United States. And we've tried to say, okay, how do you say what's going on? Well, we've tried to bring it together in a way that's understandable, fathomable, and very forward-thinking. So we're going to discuss these key trends as part of this movement, okay? So last decade or so, you know, who knows? Everyone's seen this on a plate somewhere, right? We've all seen this. I don't even know what it is. I'm not even sure if I want to eat it, right? And this fine dining approach and 4-hour meals, so that's been happening a lot, okay? This is kind of coming out of fashion a little bit in America today. We also have the other extreme side of the spectrum, QSR, blowing up, you know, continuing to do this, but also getting a bit stale. So you've got this continuum that exists today, right? Fine dining on the one side, quick serve on the other, casual dining's really maturing. You've got this emerging thing, which is already 10 plus years old, called fast casual, happening all around the world, which is kind of bridging convenience and fine dining. But that now is really upping its game, right? And there's this emerging segment that we're seeing. And I'm going to call this emerging segment elevated fast casual. And I'm going to talk about what's happening in America today through the lens of this new segment, okay? Now, it's really a convergence, right? You have fine dining, which is getting stodgy and a little bit, you know, non-high frequency. You've got quick serve, which is convenient, which is great. These are kind of converging in the middle in an interesting way. So how we're going to talk about this today and see how these trends are manifesting in America is we're going to talk about it through fine dining going mainstream. How is fine dining becoming more accessible to the consumer today? We're going to look at reinvention on the other end of the spectrum. How is fast food reinventing itself? How is health being meaningful today? What's going on in health? How is the fact that there is no universal definition of health today, really for the first time, how is that changing the landscape? We'll look at new convenience, how technology is playing into the way people eat today. I live in San Francisco. Twitter office is down the block. Google's around the corner. Facebook's down the street. We're inundated with this environment in San Francisco. We're very fortunate to see how the crossroads of technology and food and beverage in a city like San Francisco live, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. We'll also see how casual dining, which in many ways has been, you know, deemed dead in America. Casual dining is dead. Fast casual is emerging. What's happening there? You're either pushing up in the higher end of casual to survive, or you're in this fast casual or newly emerging elevated fast casual. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, fine dining goes mainstream. What does this mean? So we've got celebrity chefs. Mr. Todd English just walked in the door. That's a celebrity chef I'm excited to talk to later. Welcome. You know, this town is about celebrity chefs, right? And a lot of them have succeeded, and many of them have failed. So what's been happening around the world to leverage these brands, create accessibility around these chefs, okay? Daniel Patterson, a gentleman who owns a restaurant called Qua in San Francisco and several others. He's on the top 50 list of best restaurants in the world. He's teamed up with Roy Choi, okay? Roy Choi is famous for the Kogi truck, okay? And what these guys are trying to do is create a new accessible democratization of food. Okay, here's a top 50 chef in the world who is getting ready to move into this space in the Tenderloin of San Francisco with a brand called Local, okay? And this is about bringing food to the masses, okay? Good quality food, healthful food, and changing the way that people eat, creating accessibility for these type of people. We heard a little bit about Danny Meyer today, Shake Shack, okay? Everyone's going to talk about Danny Meyer. There's a reason. This guy is the winner, okay? He wins. I'm grateful for him. Why I'm grateful personally is every one of my managers reads Setting the Table as required reading. And the understanding of hospitality versus service manifests in that book. And I highly recommend, if you haven't read it, please do it. He doesn't pay me royalties, but he's paid my team royalties many times over. So he's created Shake Shack, right? They're here in Dubai, which is great. They're also changing the way that people can access this type of quality and experience to associate with a brand, right? I want to associate with the Union Square Hospitality Group. I want a piece of Danny Meyer, okay? This is the way that this democratization of food is occurring, right? They're still lining up out the doors, okay? So, you know, in Dubai, they'd be in, you know, not in the cold weather wear to line up, but the equivalent is people don't line up in New York that way when it's cold out, the way they don't line up here when it's hot. Ubiquitous, simple, best-in-class burger, right? That's what they're serving. As we know, they went IPO. The valuation of the company was $1.6 billion, okay? 64 units, multiple countries. This is the future of the way that fine dining is going to grow and become a greater business model in access. We also want to talk about Jose Andres, famous Spanish chef based in Washington, D.C. The cool thing about Jose is that he teaches. He teaches at George Washington University. He's in touch with the students there. It's exciting. He's talking to students. He's listening and hearing what's going on. What do students want? What's important to them? And he has literally created a new concept called beefsteak. The funny thing is it's heavily focused on vegetables. The beefsteak tomato more the driver than the large slab of corn-fed American beef. And he's going to be opening this concept this spring in D.C. And finally, I just want to touch on Bobby Flay. Bobby Flay from the Food Network. Iron Chef, tremendous, great, high-class chef, has opened Bobby's Burger Palace. What's differentiated Bobby's place, he's from coast to coast, Vegas, across the eastern seaboard. His burgers, you can create a signature application of them called crunchifying them. So you can walk in and there's a hip sort of way to relate to the young crew that come there, and you can crunchify your burger. Don't knock that off. He's already sued like 4 people trying to do that, okay? And once again, in America, we put an egg on everything. All right, let's talk about the other side of the spectrum. And I'm sorry for talking fast because I have 10 minutes and 17 seconds to go through 80 more slides. Okay, we'll be there. All right, reinvention, okay? QSR, right? Everybody knows our friends at Taco Bell. Love them, hate them, yum brands. What's happening in this space? Taco Bell has got to up their game, right? And their way that they've realized is to understand consumers. So they've created a new concept called U.S. Taco Company. So how they're converging on the middle is they're creating better quality things, more fun, more accessible to a higher tier market, because they can only grow QSR in one direction. Also, drive-thrus are getting harder and harder to come by in America. So what are they serving? Really fun stuff, okay? I mean, you want to get laid? Oh, and that's just a menu item on this menu right here. The hot chick, I'm sure she's in the house somewhere. These are things that they're doing, which are on the edge, right? They're pushing the envelope. Taco Bell, big corporate company, but they're really trying to connect in a new and meaningful way. Some of their food. All right, KFC. So one competitors of Yum on this side. KFC's like, what about us? We're over here. We're the parent. Company lives in Louisville, right? So we're not opening a unit a day in China anymore, right? China's had some challenges. I mean, same-store sales of KFC have gone down double digits 2 years in a row. So what's KFC's reaction? It's not that. That's not that exciting, okay? It's this, Super Chicks, okay? This is an elevated play for the KFCs of the world. This is a unit that's opened in Texas, outside of Dallas, right? The last true chicken sandwich, right? Purity, simplicity, one item on the menu, okay? Maybe a couple, but like you look at KFC, menu board, I'm lost. Do one thing really well, do it right, okay? Finally, Cinnabon. I saw Cinnabons here. Everyone's smelled the sickly sweet attraction that brings you in the mall or in the airport. Well, they're in the game of upping it too. They've opened the Bone Bake Shop, right, by Cinnabon. New branding, new look, new feel. Smaller portions, 90-calorie bites you can get there. Great flavors like maple bacon. And also their packaging, completely elevated. I mean, it's a Tiffany box you're getting a Cinnabon in, right? That's a whole new world of Cinnabon. All right, and of course Starbucks, right? Starbucks, ubiquitous, 20,000 units worldwide, give or take. Absolutely, fantastic, fascinating brand. Never stopping, okay? Never stopping to innovate. So this is a new Starbucks of the future. This is the Reserve Roastery, okay? Now this Reserve Roastery is doing pour-over coffee, made to order. These are gram scales weighing every gram of coffee, every gram of water. So the ratio is key. You also look at the gorgeous roasting that's happening on site in these units. High-tech brewing equipment. It's a show. What's the theater? Starbucks knows that the theater and experience of coffee is critical to their success. They're competing with third wave coffee. You've got Blue Bottle, which grew up in a garage a few blocks away from our offices, now is hipster paradise in Brooklyn, nationwide in their distribution. Starbucks is taking notice, and they want to compete in that space. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous stores. All right, next up, new convenience, right? So QSR is convenient, right? Food, bad, convenience, good. How is this elevating in the marketplace today, okay? There's a company called Spoon Rocket. This is a really, really cool thing. What do? You order online, you choose some healthy meal, you put your pants on, okay? You get a call 2 minutes before, you walk out to the curbside, and this car drives up and hands you food, okay? So I ordered from Spoon Rocket to try this out for the first time. Domino's says 30 minutes or less, right? Like, that's really important. How fast did I get my food? Anyone care to guess? How many minutes? 7. Less. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Can you imagine ordering something online, having your phone ring a minute later, walk outside, this car drives up, this guy's like, here's your food, man. And it was absolutely surreal. And this is happening in the streets of San Francisco today. They promised, I think, 10 minutes or less. 3 was the best I ever got, though, and it was the first time I used their service. Also, Sprig, another company. So they've got an incredible interface, beautiful graphics, food with integrity, nutritionally balanced, thoughtful about our environment. They started with 1,000 meals a day. They've scaled to 20,000 meals a day in less than a year. They're moving to other markets. This is the way that people are thinking about this growth is tech. Uber, how has it grown? Well, this is the way they want to grow food companies today, some of their food. All right, the other thing is about new convenience is portability. Portability is absolutely essential today for making food accessible, right? This is a place called Sushirito. They have a few units in San Francisco. Perfect mashup. Sushi, burrito, Sushirito. Brilliant name. It's only one of them. There's multiple units, but it's a little tiny shop, right? Line out the door every day, customize your sushi roll. And it's a form that's truly convenient. You see people walking down the street eating these things in the way that people have started walking down the street drinking Starbucks coffee. Okay? Beautiful, high quality, exceptional, convenient food, right? And another thing, back to Taco Bell. We might bash them. This AM Crunch Wrap. This is your entire meal in one hand. Okay? This is the whole idea. Potatoes, meat, bread, eggs. One-handed food is the future. When 19% of all meals are taken in the car in America, can you imagine that? 1 out of 5 meals are taken in a car. You can see the value and convenience of this type of product. All right, let's talk about health. So in terms of a changing perspective of health. Now, as I mentioned before, there's no universal definition of health in America. You might have 8 people in a room and one person who say, oh, who eats healthfully? 6 will raise their hand. And one person will eat the exact opposite way as the person across from them. And they're like, I eat healthy. No, I eat healthy. I eat healthy. There's no universal way. But the one thing that is universal now is table stakes, is your brand has to have a health perspective, okay? You have to, what is your health perspective? Look at your menu today and say, what is your positioning, okay? That's a question everybody should ask today, okay? Some interesting things happening in this area. If I advance, there we go. Veggie Grill. Vegetarian Foods, one of our clients. We develop a lot of their food. 100% vegan, and they're not about preaching to you about vegan food. They're about integrating vegetables into your life. They're veg positive, okay? Beautiful, farm fresh, seasonal cuisine, okay? Good enough to eat, all vegetables, right? Beautiful grilled corn. All right, next thing, Sweet Greens. Sweet Greens, really interesting. A lot of salad concepts in America. These guys are winning right now, okay? And how are they differentiating? One of the biggest things, local list, right? Every single unit's got a chalkboard with where they're getting their product from in every market, okay? They host a concert, the Sweet Life Festival. How cool are they, right? I mean, these guys get 30,000 people, top-class acts to come hang out. So these people are attracting a whole new way to relate to restaurants, okay? And then finally, we want to talk about juice, and you are what you drink, okay? Juice is on fire. It's come full circle from the hippies of the 70s to the smoothies filled with ice cream and corn syrup, now to the purest cold-pressed juices. Juby True is a concept by the Fox Group. Sam Fox, amazing restaurateur out of Arizona, has True Food Kitchen. This is their juice brand. Starbucks is in the game, Evolution Fresh, okay? And then you've got all these artisan brands and hip ways to do it. The Press Juicery truck, right? And here's their pop-up window, okay? But this is their traditional store. Very clean, simple, all fresh juice. And then on the more premium level, you've got a brand called Thistle. Now Thistle, if you read the ingredients of this, it's filtered water, almonds, turmeric, medjool dates, vanilla bean, spices, and sea salt, okay? And that's like $10, right? And not only that, gorgeous displays in their units, and you can online order. So this is about a lifestyle, people drinking juice as part of their life and having it delivered to their homes. All right, got 2 more ideas in 2 minutes. That's going to be a fresh. All right, leapfrogging casual. As we were talking about this convergence and casual dining really struggling, casual dining offers people a full-service experience. Well, in America, it's becoming less and less important to have a full-service crappy experience, right? People are okay to wait in line to order their food quickly and pay right then. But what they're not willing to compromise is quality experience. A place called Hop Dottie Burger Bar. This just received an investment from Catterton. This is a gorgeous ahi tuna burger that they serve. These guys serve premium quality burgers. They've got an exceptional selection of beers. This is where fast casual has finally been able to be successful in the alcohol market. All right? Very comfortable, beautiful spaces, right? This looks better than most casual dining restaurants in America. This is a fast casual that's leapfrogging casual, okay? Another example is 800 Degrees, right? Wood fire pizza, okay? Gorgeous, gorgeous place. Whoops. One thing that's cool about 800 Degrees, you can get, hand-torn mozzarella put on a pizza in front of you, hand-stretched dough, basil leaves, $6.50, okay? This is an unbelievable way of quality fast food, just absolutely leapfrogging casual dining, okay? Suvla, this is the new Chipotle, in my opinion, in California. Mediterranean food, really delicious, beautiful, handcrafted, simple. They do a signature dessert, Greek frozen yogurt, olive oil, sea salt, really, really, really simple, delicious. And since they had a TV expose, raised their prices 40%, so good for them. All right, and finally, urban plates. This is a whole nother movement that's happening that's taking the salad concept of old, the Hofbrau of old, and combining it into an unbelievable experience. Urban plates, tender greens, these are popping up. These are not simple operations. Full baking capacity, virtual commissary kitchens doing $5 million in sales in fast casual with a $10 price point. All right. And finally, I want to talk about entertainment. Last segment here. Entertainment now is about dining and entertainment, right? So if you were bowling or going to a movie or going to a sporting event, you were dealing with snack bar food. Well, this has changed. This is over in America, right? And it's gone to the extreme. So first of all, Alamo Drafthouse. This is a great place where you can, used to have dinner and a movie, and those used to be in 2 different places. Now you have dinner and a movie together, okay? They do theme events. People getting dressed up, having fun, really exciting, fun place to go. Hipster Paradise. Bowling used to be blue collar, the guy in the bowling shirt, drinking Budweiser with his guys. Now, bowling is where all the millennials want to hang out at places like Brooklyn Bowl. So what's Brooklyn Bowl doing? Well, it's kind of nightclub meets bowling alley, meets groovy dining, meets, pickup bar. This is the future of entertainment, okay? Great food, too. And relevant food, right? You're bowling. I need finger stuff. I don't want to be slopping stuff around. So they've really tailored the menu to the occasion that's happening. And also live concerts happening in these venues, okay? Another place that's really fun I want to touch on is called Urban Putt in San Francisco. Urban Putt is basically mini golf for adults. All of the holes are made by hand by local artists, okay? This is a kind of place where all the millennials are hanging out, drinking beers, eating really nice food, okay? Really cool spot. Urban Space. This is the building that Urban Putts lives on, corner in the Mission, right? And this place has got a line out the door on a daily basis. And the last thing I want to talk about is sports arenas. We've just opened a sports arena for the San Francisco 49ers, sadly 40 miles away in Santa Clara, right in the middle of Silicon Valley. And they've teamed up with Michael Mina, $1.2 billion to build this arena. You can order from your smartphone at your seat. They'll deliver food to your seat. They have a living garden on the roof. And the cool thing they do is Michael Mina's Tailgate. So Tailgate is a subscription thing that you can do. And people usually tailgate out of the back of their cars, light a barbecue, eat some sausages, drink some beers. Well, the Michael Mina Tailgate is a $5,000 subscription for 10 events, okay? $500 a pop, and you get to eat some of the greatest chef's foods. So to start the season, Thomas Keller came, and the New York team was in town. Thomas Keller cooked with Michael Mina, and you can eat tailgating food from great chefs of that nature in sports arenas. Beautiful drinks, everything included. All right, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Once again, elevated fast casual, sweeping America and how these trends are manifesting. And why is it relevant to you? All of these aspects of what's happening in America are reactions to things happening in society, you know? So if we think about people wanting access to chefs, we think about people wanting things more convenient, those are things that are happening right here. They're happening in Europe. They're happening all over the world. And these are the responses to the consumer needs that are occurring. All right. If anyone wants to speak with me anymore, I'm Aaron Novoshin. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk today, and we'll talk more later.